Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. PK, there's legislation looming out there. Makes your skin crawl, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
You don't like to talk the politics about sports. You like to talk about the games around sports.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when it comes to that, yeah.
But nonetheless, you've seen a tweet this morning that has caught your attention. These rules and what are they putting together in Congress that could slow down or speed up the changes to college sports, especially college football, but maybe college basketball too, that we all think are out there looming.
Well, our Pete Thamel's talking about does this protect college sports acts? Mm-hmm. And the most scrutinized section is realignment restrictions, new focus. Leagues being capped at 19. And so the Big 12 has 18 and the SEC 16.
Basically telling the Big 10 they can't expand anymore.
Big 12 has 16.
They'll give them room to let in Notre Dame and nothing else. 19 is such an odd number, literally.
And for a team to leave a power conference to join another, they'd have to play 5 years as an independent. Well, that ain't going to work.
Sacramento State and North Dakota State may have made their move just in time.
Well, a group of 6 schools would be allowed to move up in the latest discussions. So if UNLV, for instance, just to use them as an example, whomever,
right,
Boise.
UNLV could move to the Pac-12 or the Big 12 could add a couple teams. They're at 16.
I don't know that the Big 12 is considered
a power league.
The Pac-12, I mean. So they might
That'd be group of 5, group of 6 to group of 6, you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, if the Big 12 came calling for 2 teams.
Whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
They're at 16. They could go to 18 or 19. Right.
I'm tired of all this crazy realignment.
I get it. I don't think this thing's going to pass. I mean, they're clearly changing a rule.
Well, I don't know. I think some of it will pass.
Oh, really? Think they'll strip it down and get some core stuff through?
Yeah, like he says that the bill was set to freeze leagues making more than $700 million. Make as much as you want. Or as much as you can, I guess would probably be the better word. But I think this prevents some type of, what's the word?
Consolidation?
Yeah,
or massive expansion by the Big Ten trying to become a national league?
And leaving out so many others.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the Big 12 is fine enough, and go ahead and figure out ways to make as much money as you can in the Big 12. And I don't think all these players are just like rushing to these other conferences any more than they've already been doing.
There's always been change, but it seems like it has sped up to an amazing degree.
Right. So I sort of like this idea of keeping the leagues the way they are. I just don't see what going to the Big Ten is going to be solving every problem that you may have had.
You'll never solve every problem you had. You'll just get a new set of problems.
Why does Utah so desperately want to be in the Big Ten if they do? Or why does anybody, for that matter?
More money. It seems it's the elite league. I do think that they've been working at it for a while, but seem to get getting better at it and making money through the conference off more than just sports. And I think they think it'll grow their research dollars and all that. The prestige they'll get by being associated with these other schools will help them grow going forward.
You think the athletic department is really worried about that?
No, I think the president and the regents are. I think the ADs are only because they know their bosses are.
Well, if that were the case, why didn't they do it years ago?
Why didn't they do what?
Go
to the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Well, because they haven't been invited yet.
I'm talking about the schools that were invited.
Because they weren't invited until then.
You don't think SC could have gone anytime it wanted?
They probably could if they wanted to pick up the phone and start it, but they knew there'd be a bunch of blowback, including from their own alumni
that
boosters.
Blowback
donor.
didn't obviously prevent them from doing it.
There came a point when they were willing to take the risk and do it.
But if it's
not
all
the risk,
it's
but
all
they
about
really
the
did.
money and the research and blah blah blah, there is no risk. What risk do you have there in the research and all that stuff?
You'd lose alumni and boosters and donors, but
You're gonna
eventually
lose
the
that
money
anyway.
But eventually the money got so big there really wasn't even the risk of that, which I think is a quote you literally got from a longtime SC person you know. It simply it was just too much. It was too big.
And we'll see how it actually benefits them.
So far, not really.
Right.
Now it's a short window, and maybe they just don't have the right coach right now.
Okay, but that's just football.
Yeah.
The basketball guys, we can set our watch by it. We know it's the winter,
Yeah.
and they're doing all this traveling.
In January, there's going to be a road trip. They're going to hate it, and they're going to tell us.
Because they've only done it 2 out of 2.
Right. Maybe we don't have to wait till January. Whenever the schedule comes out, they might start telling us then. But we'll be so football obsessed, we'll ignore it.
I just don't see you got to have that. Stay here, find ways to increase the money, and be competitive in this league. Because if that league is so much better, if you haven't won the league or not competitive, not to say that Utah hasn't been, because obviously they have, and the first year was curtailed by injury, that I don't see where you're going to be able to be so competitive over there.
I get that thought.
I mean, look at Nebraska. What benefit? They got all the money in the world. What benefit did that do to their football program?
It does
Who's
not
the
help their
latest
football
coach
program.
today? And when does Rule start looking to move on?
And it's
Everybody else has.
20-plus years of this now for Nebraska.
Yeah.
I mean, they started slipping while they were still in the Big 12, and going to the Big 10 just accelerated it.
Yeah.
It made it worse, not better.
And is that really going to help your recruiting?
Well, I think that's the whole thought with Nebraska, that in the league they were in, they were able to get into Texas and get Texas kids. Now, of course, other things have changed, NIL, and do they have access to NIL dollars and all that. But originally, they went away from their recruiting base, and they made themselves less visible there.
Well, I mean, for Utah, is that going to help their recruiting?
I can see where it would help their recruiting.
It sounds good, but is it going to help?
But the problem is it's offset by you've already got teams there whose recruiting is so awesome. It's like, yeah, you've got better players, but they're not good enough to beat the best players that they've got. I mean, Ohio State is just sending so many guys to the NFL draft every year. It's just like, so if you go from
they have forever.
Right, as you go from having like 4 or 5 guys drafted to now 6 or 7 guys drafted, right? And then you look up and there's Ohio State having 10 or 12 guys drafted.
Right.
How are we going to beat these guys?
And if I'm going to do all the travel in the Big Ten, why be at Utah?
Now, maybe it's more regionalized by the time Utah gets in, so it's not as bad as it is right now. But we'll see. That's to be determined. But let's see if it's even possible or plausible. I mean, if this passes, then maybe the Big Ten's not expanding and that whole thing's dead. I mean, if this passes with the stuff we're reading here this morning, limited to 19 teams, the Big Ten's already at 18. It seems 19, which is a terrible number, is just there for Notre Dame. Put it at 19.
Oh, yeah, but they could put it at 20, then still have Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You can put it at whatever. You can still get, as long as you have one,
You're
or they can kick somebody out and bring in Notre Dame.
They're not putting it at 22 or 24 or 28 where, now Utah's odds of getting in are going way up. I mean, the 19 stalls all this stuff we've heard about with the ACC. They could bring in one ACC team. But this whole thought that the ACC is going to get rated here in a few years. By the SEC and the Big Ten.
I know, but I mean, who is so attractive that you got to have them?
Miami, Florida State, and North Carolina are the 3 that always get mentioned, and then there's other schools that sometimes get mentioned and sometimes they don't.
Let them go.
Virginia's been mentioned. Yeah.
Let them go.
NC State.
And then
Duke.
they become just another program with lots of money. And
ask Maryland, right?
And
Nebraska.
BYU, they're all those jock sniffer guys who want to donate all this money. They ain't donating it into the whatever research. They donated it for the athletics. Cody Campbell, that's where the glory is.
Arkansas and South Carolina. What'd you do that for?
Yeah, I mean, what's Cody Campbell now is a national figure. And maybe he does give money to the academics, but, I'm not saying that they don't, but you don't get any buzz off of it. Nobody knows who you are.
No, nobody knows how many research dollars you're pulling in. I mean, the regents and the president do.
Yeah.
But
everybody knows the Jazz owner now. He wasn't on Pat McAfee before. He ain't any richer now.
Nope. Before he was on DJ and PK.
Right.
We did. We had him on like 2 or 3 times before he bought the team.
Yeah. I mean, I knew who he was.
Yeah.
BYU people knew who he was. Mm-hmm. But now everybody knows who he is.
Yeah. He's outgrown us. He still comes on occasionally.
That's fine.
No,
I don't care.
He still comes on occasionally.
It's not. I'm not about not or coming on our show. It's about the expansion. No, it's about the expansion of being a
raise your profile.
Yeah.
Raise your
Mark
profile.
Cuban doing TV shows.
Yep.
Mark Cuban doesn't even have a majority owner in the Mavericks, and they're still asking him what he thinks.
Oh yeah. And I'm not sure how it happened, but he is on social media talking about what healthcare should look like left and right. I'm just scrolling through a timeline during whatever game, and there's Mark Cuban debating healthcare with people. That didn't happen before he bought the Mavericks.
Right.
Raised his profile.
Right. So that's what they want. So be careful on all that stuff. It sounds good and investigate it. Certainly you should investigate. You should investigate all opportunities or most opportunities that come your way. Why wouldn't you? We would all do it individually. If somebody, I mean, it's not going to happen to me now. I'm too far down the line. But if somebody called me and said, hey, what do you think? Well, yeah, I'll check it out. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. It's like what we were talking
Rob Wright
about.
the third.
Yeah.
Got to check it out.
Yeah. Kentucky was interested. Check it out. Especially the system allows it. And you have unlimited transfers. I think eventually they'll realize that that's too much. And instead of, we had all these restrictions, then we went from restrictions to no restrictions. It's like, well, couldn't there be some happy medium there? And it's not, as we spoke about, in the best interest of the individual to keep bouncing around. Is it in the best interest of programs to keep bouncing around?
No.
Is it the best? What are you looking for? What's the goal here? Because it is in the best interest of the tennis team to be going all over the world.
Yep.
And all over the country anyway, and all these other sports that you have. Is that in the best interest of the young woman or young man?
We've had schools, in some cases, leaving leagues and rejoining them. Just in the Big Sky, one of our local leagues, right? Southern Utah got in, then left, then came back. Idaho did the same thing, left and then came back. It's all over the map. And you can't, I just read a thing.
Colorado went home.
Yes, Colorado's another one. Left and came back. Yeah. Good example.
Should have never gone to the Pac-12.
Sounded like a good idea, and then went straight into irrelevance.
I don't think it sounded like a good idea.
Oh, really? You thought it was bad from the get-go?
Yeah, what connection do they have?
I think Denver as a whole tends to look west, but that doesn't matter in pro sports because
pro sports is you can look wherever you want.
Right. But for the colleges, again, back to Nebraska, they were recruiting Texas. It really hurt them. They probably had the wrong person in charge. Well, wrong people because they had multiple people calling the shots. They had a couple of bad hires at the same time they lost the recruiting area. It just turned into a disaster.
Were they all bad hires, or was the situation not good?
Do they not have enough money?
I mean, Colorado, and they had some, I get that, but why all of a sudden would the doors fly open to California recruiting in Colorado? So I'm going to jump over 3 states and a bunch of schools to go there.
And where they went was actually last place.
Yeah.
Dead
perennially.
Last. Perennially dead last.
They've had 2 runs, 2 seasons, not runs, seasons. McIntyre had one, and then Dion when he brought in his kid and Hunter.
Mm-hmm. They've had a couple of big
years.
years.
And they won, 9 games? It's not like they were dominant,
the other
knocking
one,
down the top 10.
Yeah. The other one was 10, I think.
Yeah. And there was no staying power.
And
it went away as fast as it came.
There's a ton of 2, 3, and 4s.
Yeah. So what good did that do? Isn't that Colorado the classic example?
And yet, schools seem to be chomping at the bit to move every year. Every summer, we have a whole list of schools that have realigned.
Yeah, but I think now we're just filling in the blanks.
Well, that did drive it this year because the Pac-12 brought in 6 teams, and the Mountain West brought in teams to replace them.
Right,
and, yeah.
right.
But it's always something. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Well, I think that might settle down now. the one thing the not the sport but the whole college athletic situation, it needs some form of stability.
You'd like to think so, but everybody's doing what's best for themselves, and nobody's looking at the big picture.
But that's the thing. Is it best for themselves? That's the point.
Was it best for Oklahoma and Texas to go to the SEC? Because that set off the whole Big 12. I mean, we had a whole summer with all the Big 12 teams moving and the Pac-12 breaking up. And, I mean, it's just, like I said, it's one thing after another. And I don't know if anybody's that much better off. Who's that much better off because they changed leagues? I mean, Boise State climbed through leagues, so, you know, you can look over 20 years, 30 years and say, okay, Boise State's better off. But how many schools can you look over 20 and 30 years and say you changing leagues really improved your place in the universe? I mean, maybe some teams just had to, you know, with the Big East falling apart, you had to go, or...
Well, yeah, that's what happened to the
Pac-12. You had to... Some teams have had these moves forced. I guess you could say Utah's in a better place. TCU's had a pretty wild ride, but they've ended up in a better place. I mean, TCU's been... Can you even name all the leagues TCU had to bounce through?
Oh, yeah, but any team that has a program that has an opportunity to move up.
The Southwest Conference fell apart, so their whole thing was set in motion by something they couldn't control.
And at the time, they had no access. Chris Hill used to say that all the time, is that I can tell every other sport you've got a chance to compete at the highest level, but I couldn't say it at football.
Right. They were Mountain West, Conference USA. I think they were Big East briefly, and then Big 12, or maybe they talked about the Big East and didn't do it. I'm leaving somebody out.
Well, there was no Big East. It never existed.
Yeah, that was
They never played a game.
That was all cobbled together. Well,
but that was for access.
Yeah.
That access now has been greatly changed.
12-team playoff and Big 12, they're in a good place now.
And we understand there's going to be some form of expansion minimally for possibly, 12? Double?
16 or 24 seems like it's coming.
Right.
Don't know when.
So everything has changed dramatically, so you don't need access. The access is already there. Before, TCU was scrambling to get access in a state where there were so many schools that had access. Well, now you got access.
If this passes, it'll be interesting to see what its final form is. You know, they're still working on these amendments and tweaking it and all that.
Right.
And then there'll be the law of unintended consequences. And then inevitably, there'll be a court challenge. So it feels like whatever ride we're on, the ride isn't going to end anytime soon.
No. I understand that. But I don't think we should just dismiss it, because there might be some stuff in there, if not all, that some can make the entire realm of college sports better. And I think that's what we're after. I think that's what everybody's after. I think it's what Cody Campbell, who obviously is biased towards Texas Tech, but I still think he wants to make the whole system for every Johnny and Mary better.
But what he thinks is better, the SEC may not think is better.
Well,
and the Big Ten might not agree with either one of them.
And they don't.
Which is why I think this isn't going to pass, because in the end, I don't think they're going to be able to.
But I think there might be some form of
possibly
passage.
they'll find something they can agree on.
I think they will.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
For all of you less motivated listeners, it's time for your 9 o'clock. Where the heck have you been headlines?
Where you at?
With DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Slacker Radio Headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan today, your local trusted financial fiduciary, 1-855-TRAJAN1, or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. We have hit so many topics today, PK. Where would you like to begin? Bob Casper came on, talked Open Championship.
That was gripping, and it was good to see somewhat what you consider an underdog. And even if you don't like golf, the idea of people competing where everything is at stake, that draws me in. I literally don't care what the sport is. I don't care what the gender is. If I see people out there where everything matters to them and they're so intense and the pressure is so great, I don't know how you're not interested. I don't know how you don't sit there and say, that's something that I find fascinating and attractive, and that's what you had in the British Open. And it's one stroke, man. They play 72 holes of golf, and you hit the ball 100 and whatever times, and it comes down to one single.
I always find that amazing.
The margin is so small.
In this case, they hit the ball 270 times.
Yeah.
And he beats the guy who hits it 271. And you see putts lipping out. It's just like balls getting impacted by a gust of wind.
And how you keep your focus and your concentration. Fox made, they said 11 and a half feet. That ain't no gimme.
Nope. Do you think that made it easier, though? Because like at 4 feet, you're supposed to make it. At 11, if you just knock it up there close and then tap it in, I mean, lots of people miss 11-foot putts. I'm sure there's a stat, that pros make it 45% of the time or whatever the number is.
Oh, they have that. They have those stats.
Yeah, they've got it. I don't know what it is. I know it's out there. So it's just like at 11 feet, if you miss it, as long as it's close, it's not embarrassing, and you get a tap in par and you're off to a playoff.
Depending on the nature of the putt. If you leave it 3 feet short.
That's why I said knock it up there close.
Right. I was telling my buddy in my men's league, he wasn't there a couple weeks ago. And I said, and we all go for deuces and skins. Mm-hmm. That's the fun part. And the deuce most likely would be a birdie on a par 3. I said, well, I have good news. He goes, how'd it go last week? I said, I had good news and bad news. I said, I had a 10-foot putt for a deuce. I said, is that the good news? I said, yeah. He said, what's the bad news? I said, well, it's kind of good news, too. I said, it was a 10-foot putt for birdie, but I made the 3-foot putt for par. And then he got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I left it way short. I gagged.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've played with you, and it's like, well, I'm going to make this 12-footer for the 2-putt after something horrendous happened on the first putt. And then I did.
Yeah.
And then we laughed.
So
well, it was always going to be a 2-putt anyway. Yeah, it was way too long on the second one.
The amount of pressure and to be able to deliver in the clutch, and that's what that was. That's fun.
But if Sam Burns had won, you'd have tortured Bob.
That would have been even more fun.
You would have had a second win this year.
Yeah, and he had 3 bogeys right in a row. It was like 3, 4, 5.
It was very early.
Yeah. And that's what prevented him. 3 bogeys.
Yeah. And then it was a string of pars. It was like
everything else.
Yeah, 11 or 12 pars to close the round. It was just there was nothing.
Yeah.
I looked at his scorecard.
Yeah.
It was like 12 straight pars to finish the round after he bogeyed 4, 5, 6 or something.
But he couldn't get in there. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, he made a long par putt to save par. It's not like he couldn't make anything. Right. But he made a long par putt, but he couldn't make a long birdie putt.
Mm-hmm.
But he made the long par putts. Go figure.
Yeah.
It's a crazy sport. It'll drive you nuts trying to figure it out. And speaking of high-level competition, you'll take anything. The World Cup comes to a close. Spain beats Argentina with a goal in extra time. They were scoreless after 90 minutes, and it was one-way traffic. Spain was just completely dominating them, and they couldn't score.
The stats show that.
Yeah, Argentina could not put passes together. They rarely could get the ball across midfield and maintain possession.
And so, though, Messi goes John Beck.
And what does that mean exactly?
He cried.
Oh, yeah. He did. Oh, he was crying on the field.
Remember when Beck did that? It was
going
to ruin my weekend, and people wanted to jump him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to jump him.
Yep, I remember. He was a freshman. It's going to ruin my whole weekend.
Because it meant something.
Well, you don't want him to go out and just, like, laugh it up, and he doesn't care. So then
that's the extreme. I get that, but yeah.
So Messi was crying,
and
everyone's making
that.
the assumption, like, that's it. He just lost his last game in an Argentina shirt.
Why wouldn't that be emotional?
It's a milestone, and the fans were chanting his name, and so.
I was chanting his name, Lionel.
They did have a couple, even though they didn't have any shots until the very end, and they had 2 shots late, and twice it looked like they might score, which would have been astounding given how completely they were
And when
dominated.
you think about it, I can relate because I also ended any success I had athletically in New Jersey. I sucked when I moved to Arizona.
Once I went to Arizona, it was all downhill,
yes.
Huh? New Jersey, those are the glory days.
Big time. I was only 12, but,
Yeah, still, nonetheless.
Yeah, I was.
The half-court buzzer beater was in Jersey.
Made All-Stars in Little League when the whole town would come out.
Yeah.
Made All-Stars in CYO.
Yeah.
I came out west. You suck.
Hit $138. Yeah, that might more have to do with the fact that you have a December birthday in puberty and you were a year too young and you were playing up a year. If you'd had one more year of high school, could have been different.
I think I would have made the bigs.
No. I think it would have made you a good high school player. I don't think it would have had anything. I don't think ASU would have been knocking on the door with a scholarship.
I would have taken Glendale Community. I would have taken anything. You name it.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's a fact because I graduated high school at 140 pounds.
Yeah.
And then December of my first year in college at Northern Arizona, I was 175.
Yep.
The growth spurt came too late for me.
I just read a thing over the weekend about Cooper Flagg. Kept growing. He grew another 1.5 inches or 2 inches or something. And he's even bigger. Can you get a bigger, stronger version of Cooper Flagg? Great.
Well, why wouldn't you? I don't know
he's so
height.
young. Yeah.
But every 18-year-old, you would assume when he's 23, is going to be stronger.
If you see Magic when he's winning the NCAA championship, and then you see a photo of him when he wins his last NBA title, which is basically a decade apart, completely different body type. He's much thicker.
Well, I don't necessarily know you need to have a physically different, but I think you can get stronger.
Yes, because Kevin Durant hasn't.
Like Darren Peterson, does he need to get bigger?
No.
Does he need to get strong? Kobe talked about that.
Yeah.
He shot air balls because he had no legs when he was a rookie. And he said, and he was like 18 years old. And he said, I need to go and get myself stronger. But I don't necessarily know that his body changed. It's going to change a little, obviously. But you can get stronger and certainly more ready for the tasks that are ahead.
We see so many of those 18, 19-year-olds, and we have to remember that maybe they've played up, probably they've played up at some point a year or two along the way, AAU ball, whatever. But you get to the pros, you're playing up 5, 10, 15 years. It is just so
Some
different.
dudes need to get stronger. I think Cody Williams' body has changed, but I don't know that Keontae George's body has changed that much. And he's had a drastic level of improvement.
Well, it's not just the physical side, it's the mental side also. Playing up a year or two, do you have the confidence to do it? And that's the same question for these 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Because the 28-year-old, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander knows how to draw a foul now.
That's why I would think that I'm going to slow the flow a little bit on Darren Peterson.
Yeah.
Because the team, I don't think, can afford to have him out there making a bunch of mistakes because they're trying to win as many games as possible. They're paying a ton of money to these guys, and the idea of winning is immediate. It's not, you always are looking to the future, but that's not Will Hardy's job right now. That's management's job. He needs to win as many games as he possibly can in this upcoming season. So maybe Darren Peterson maybe just temper it a little bit. We'll see. Maybe he doesn't need tempering, and maybe he's just that good. But I'm willing to temper it.
NBA news. Lindenberg out duels Boozer. Warriors claim Summer League title. It's the 11th pick in the draft, who apparently is a winner, won at Michigan. Is he going to be the one we look at and think, there's a guy who could have gone 5 spots higher. There's a guy who could have gone 8 spots higher.
Well, it's in regard to the guys who are in those spots.
It's not just how good you are, it's how good they aren't.
Yeah.
Right.
And if those guys that were drafted ahead of him, then maybe he went where he goes. But my guess is that two things is that he definitely will look at it and say, I should have gone higher. But at the same time, I wonder, what? He's going into a veteran team that is on its last leg. So how many opportunities is he going to get?
I think he's going to have some because I don't think those veterans are going to be playing a lot of basketball. I mean, we saw injuries take a toll on them last year. Are they suddenly going to be healthy and handle the wear and tear? If they are, it's because they're load managing. So whether it's minutes inside of games or second night of back-to-backs, there will be opportunities for him. I don't think he'll be force-fed every night, but there'll be chances.
But I think that's part of the deal with Keontae George is, they had to move somebody like a Sexton out of there.
Mm-hmm.
There was no future with Sexton, and it's no problem. Nothing against him. Whereas George was your future, and doors open for you to have that opportunity. And he went running right through that door, obviously, and he took advantage of it. So, what level of opportunity he's going to get? Because I don't know that if all of them sit out, then we're going to look at it. Oh, big deal. He scored 25 and they lost by 30. Who cares? So we'll have to see on that.
There'll probably be some of that, but how much will he learn as he does that and as they rebuild, which they're going to have to because of the age of all of these guys? They'll be adding pieces to him, and did they get a win there with him to speed things up?
But I mean, I still think he's going to be a role player. I don't think he's ever going to be a big-time star. Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with that. You need solid role players.
But if you have a couple solid role players, you get lucky and get the number one pick, and it's somebody good, or you hit on somebody later who's excellent.
Yeah, I think for the Warriors, the idea is to not be the Bulls, where it took so long.
Yeah.
Now, they had an incredible run, but the Warriors also had an incredible run.
Well, the Bulls had an incredible run with Jordan, and then that took them a decade to get back to a conference final with Rose, but then injuries curtailed him, and now it's been another 15 years of just treading water, or worse. It's basically been one big year and a quarter of a century.
You want the run,
yeah,
but then you don't want that long of a rebuild.
Oklahoma City trades Lou Dort to Atlanta. Number one pick, Zachary Rissache goes from Atlanta to Dallas.
And that's a 24 number one pick, right?
Yeah, 2024.
That's like yesterday.
Yeah. And the Mavericks get 3 second-round draft picks. They were basically just doing a salary dump to get under the second apron.
Thunder.
Excuse me, the Oklahoma City was doing the salary depth there. Dallas, it's, here's a guy with some size and ability to shoot it, and it hasn't worked for him, but change of scenery. And Atlanta has been treading water in the middle. I think they're starting to make a push. Let's see how much better we can get. And they don't want to invest in him anymore.
Well, I think it's worth a fly for Dallas. He doesn't have to be the man.
Right.
I mean, if Irving comes back, obviously with Flag, he's not even being close to the man.
But it'll give him some size, and maybe he can shoot it, and maybe he can flourish in that role.
He's going to have to show something, or he'll be overseas.
And LeBron, anytime now. Nothing over the weekend. Not that anyone expected anything over the weekend. But anytime now. Feel free to tell us. Cleveland, Philly, Miami, Golden State, somewhere else, whatever, Minnesota.
I'm not so worried about LeBron. It's the guy I care for is Bronny.
What will happen to Bronny?
Yeah. What's going to happen to Bronny?
No idea.
Is he out? Does he stay with the Lakers? Does he follow Pops?
I think stay with the Lakers.
I say Cleveland.
For Bronny or LeBron?
Both.
Okay.
And then Bronny just dominates Mitchell, and they ship Mitchell back to Utah.
I told you last week I was up for Cleveland or Philly. You got a second choice you'd find intriguing, or it's Cleveland or bust for you as far as intrigue with LeBron?
Oh, I couldn't care less where he goes.
Okay.
I'll pay attention either way. He's LeBron. He's a show. He's going to demand and command attention.
And that's why they're waiting to put out the schedule.
And wherever he goes, it's going to be a story. I think you're dismissing Miami.
Opening, I don't find that as interesting and compelling, but perhaps I will be pleasantly surprised.
Name me a better threesome than
Giannis and Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
Do they have enough around them? And will LeBron and Giannis play enough? Giannis has been missing a lot of games.
Right.
That people are still talking to him like he's prime Giannis.
Sure, but now he has incentive.
He does. Have a chip on his shoulder, prove he can do it. Milwaukee was holding me back.
Right. And I can tell you, people from Greece, I know nothing about them.
Okay, there we go. It's like you claim Italy, Ireland, New Jersey, Phoenix, San Pedro, and Salt Lake City.
Okay.
Greece would have been
I
new
lived
ground.
in all those places.
I know. Greece would have been. Well, you didn't live in Italy and Ireland. But you know people who did.
Well, in a sense, I did.
In a sense, your relatives
Oh, no,
did.
I don't claim the countries.
Okay.
I claim what they're about. I've never been to either of those countries. I've never been to Europe. You been to Europe, Alex?
I have not been to Europe. No.
Ask DJ if he's been.
Have you been to Europe,
Yes.
DJ? How many times?
Once.
Kind of
To where?
figured that he'd been there, and we haven't, right? You're on my side. Never, Alex, you got to understand. He'll let us in, but we don't go. Have I ever been in his house? No. Has he ever been in my house? Yes. There you go. All fact, Alex. All fact.
I brought you a lot of food. You ever brought me a lot of stuff?
I bring you joy and good tidings.
That is not what people hear on this show.
I bring you good tidings of joy.
Sing it.
Comfort and joy is what I bring you. And actually, yes.
And actually, we were literally
Something
talking about...
has been brought to your house under my name. So bleep off.
And we were talking about your European vacation in the last commercial break.
Which is only a fantasy.
Well,
my
if you
wife
don't
brought
wanna do
something
it-
to your house. It was comfort
true.
and joy.
Yes,
so
she did. She did. Your wife did bring something.
yes, and I sent her on
Because
assignment.
Jackie is fabulous.
I sent
you
her-
sent her on
I
assignment.
did. Yes.
I believe you told me. I didn't know that she was doing that, and I didn't know she was going there.
Oh, I just said it to maintain my humility.
Oh, okay. All right. When we come back, your feedback next. Stay with us.
And it's all over almost here.
Don't go nowhere.
And now, enough of us. It's time to hear from you. From all your texts, tweets, and posts. This is the best feedback of the day.
Ooh, oh, I was there. It's the best game of my life.
With DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's time for your feedback right here on the Zone. Question of the morning. BYU's Rob Wright scored 101 points in the Summer League game. Can he be the best point guard in college? Jack, you State Iceman. David James, do you have the delusional goggles on of a BYU fan? The correct answer to this is false. So I sent him this. His dog with swim goggles, and the swimmer's holding him, and he looks like he wants to dog paddle in the pool.
That's funny.
The dog is ready to go. I thought it was funny, too. Then, at PK Kinahan, can you explain this better to your co-partner in the morning? Hopefully today at 9:50. He's a little irritated with me right now.
Jeez.
So I sent him this. Sent him a
Relax.
cat with goggles. Maybe it's a dog. You know, he might be a cat person, not a dog person. I don't know. I think for the record, neither one of us think he's going to be the best point guard in college basketball, nor are we willing to look up 300 point guards in college basketball. The point is, can he be better in what should be really different circumstances without Devonsa there to have the ball in his hands, but to be surrounded by multiple shooters, not to be running along someone where you got to play Batman to Robin, but you got to distribute the ball to multiple shooters. It should be really different. And so, can he play at a high level?
I think he can. I anticipate it.
The 101 points in a Summer League game is completely irrelevant to the discussion of what he's going to do next January or February.
Correct, but it is eye-catching.
It is eye-catching. I noticed it when I saw it on social media, but nonetheless, the first thing I thought is, who's he playing against and how hard are they trying?
Chamberlain scored 101, right? Or
100.
Yeah, he wasn't that good.
Okay. Thanks for that.
He was overrated.
Jason says it's almost like the time I scored 100 in a church ball game.
Yeah, right. Over the course of 5 years.
Doug, I actually worry about this. He needs to pass the ball and get others their shots.
He does. I think that's a very good point. He
Solid
does.
analysis right
Yes.
there.
Especially if you got guys on the wings who can make them, and they're wide open.
Morgan Scally says he's signing off social media for the season. Do you want the players to do the same? Brian says the transfer portal and NIL should be removed from college sports. It's ruined the whole atmosphere. That wasn't the question, Brian, but Brian had to get that off his chest.
The transfer portal, I think, needs to be regulated a little bit better. NIL, it's gone crazy, but they're the show. Why shouldn't they get a piece of the pie?
That's who we're showing up to see.
Yeah.
And you can say they're not worth that, but somebody's giving it to them, so apparently they are worth that to that person.
Yeah, we'll have to see if there are long-term effects. It's too soon. But interest and ratings and so forth would indicate that it hasn't ruined it.
How much will the World Cup boost soccer in the States? Terry says it was a fun ride, but American college football starts next month, and the World Cup will be a distant memory. On to football.
Yeah, but you could say that about the Olympics, couldn't you? It's a fun ride while it's here in those 3 weeks, and then we go on and the calendar resets in terms of the sports. So.
I mean, it does that for every sport.
Right.
Yeah. Chris and Jesse say not much. Elaine, I never used to watch soccer, so I think it's a huge difference. I get that it does introduce people to sports, and that's why I think it's an incremental thing. It'll introduce people to the sport, but I think how big a deal soccer is always going to be judged by how big the league in your country is, not by how many people are watching, getting up early in the morning to watch games from England or Germany, although those numbers are growing. but it's going to get judged by Major League Soccer. And I think Major League Soccer benefits from the World Cup. I know they started the league, but the league floundered for a decade, and teams were going for $6 million, and 2 guys owned 8 teams and were keeping the league alive. It took off when they got Beckham. I think what the league does impacts what happens to the league.
Well, the bottom line is there's a place for it.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Right. And its place will be determined by what it does, not gravy train in the World Cup. You get a little boost from that. But this flipping the schedule that they're doing, it could be a big plus, it could be a big minus. I mean, they believe in it. They did it. And it'll get the playoffs to a point in the year where more people can see them.
Do you believe in it? Because I believe in you.
Yeah, those 10 to 15% of the games are going to be played in bad weather. In some cities, that's going to be a big problem. And maybe it'll be offset by the fact that the playoffs will be on at a time of year where they won't be overshadowed by football. So that could be the big bonus.
Sure.
And also acquiring talent. And maybe that'll help them acquire more talent, which is really, like you like to say, man, the NBA is the best league in the world, and we know it. And the NFL, well, we're really the only ones playing it. But baseball, it's the best league in the world. Players are coming over from Japan, not the other way.
Right.
And soccer can't say that, and that clearly impacts a lot of fans.
Agreed.
So they need better players, and acquiring players may be easier now. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.